Hi there, Savi here with Irish Sports Network, and I'm here with Mr. Snyder, coach at lacrosse. So, Mr. Snyder, what are the expectations for the team this year or this season for lacrosse?
Yeah, I think every year expectation is to win a championship. But I think as far as stuff we can control now, heading into the season, we just want to get better every day, keep developing. We got a lot of young guys who are going to contribute.
Yeah.
The team knows that, so just making sure they're prepared for some varsity lacrosse.
hmm And for this year, you kind of say you mentioned you guys have a lot of young guys. Is this year more of like kind of a year of like trying to develop guys for like the upcoming seasons, or still trying to get that chip?
Yeah, I think every year's different. We have a lot of seniors that are contribute, but there's going to be a lot of young guys. So hopefully those young guys can step into a role where they feel comfortable, playing at a high level, and we are able to compete for a championship, which I think this team can do that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a win-win, right? Like we can win, get to a championship, hopefully win it, but also in the meantime develop those young guys for next year and the following year,
Yeah.
whatever that might be.
Yeah. And for that, what do you think what are the biggest strengths of like the team this year?
I think our offense, we only really lost a couple guys offensively. And last year we had a lot of the current seniors playing, a lot of the current juniors playing significant minutes for the offense, so not a lot of turnover there.
Yeah.
I'd say face-off as well is a strength of ours. We have the Verdeen brothers and then Evan Bismeyer, and those guys have been great for us over the last couple of years, so
Yeah.
we had some success there as well.
And with that, what do you think are going to be like the big challenges this year with the team? You mentioned a lot about the offense and things like that. Will like things like defense be a problem or not really?
Yeah, I think that's probably the area where we had the most turnover. I
Yeah.
think we had our starting defense last year was 4 seniors and then a couple juniors, so pretty much a whole new cast of characters there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have Hank in net, Big Hank, so he'll kind of clean up some stuff for us in the back end. But yeah, a bunch of guys that are either transfers or haven't played many meaningful minutes that are going to be in a starting role. So that's always exciting, but with that, there's some growing pains.
Yeah. And are there any especially like freshmen or like sophomores that are coming in that like we should watch this year? The thing considering like playing varsity. I know it's still kind of the early stage, especially with tryouts still going on and things like that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys. We're still obviously making the roster now, but
Yeah.
there's been some guys in the first 4 days of practice that have impressed us, and they're, we're like, maybe they can't play against like a Bellevue or an Eastlake, like a powerhouse team, but they're definitely going to give us some contributions against some of our league opponents and other kind of varsity rosters. But we just gotta, it's tough to tell after 4 days, so
Yeah.
we'll see how they develop. But we're definitely giving some young guys some opportunities to play for sure.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned like 2 of the other teams. Are there like any other teams like that, like O'Day is mentally like preparing for, and like kind of like we have like circled on the schedule and things like that?
Yeah, I think big hitters. It's always prep. At least for the past 3 years, it's been prep. Bellevue is going to be good, and they're in our league now. Eastlake is always a good kind of 4A school that we play every year. Glacier Peak, Tahoma now is in our league, as well as Bellarmine Prep. So a bunch of talent across the league. So we just got to make sure we're controlling what we can control, which is ourselves and our execution, and we'll have some success. So.
Yeah. And for the preseason and things like that, how are you like planning on like training the team and like things like to focus on this year and like changes compared to last year?
Yeah, it's a lot. As I mentioned, young defense, so we got to make sure we're kind of buttoned up there. We're gonna fail a lot, especially early in the year. And my big thing is like failure is fine as long as you learn from it. So our big kind of focal point is mentality, right? Like the Seahawks Sox are a great example. They won the Super Bowl, but there were struggles throughout the year, right? And they got better because of that. I think they lost 3 games. So, as long as we can bounce back from our failure and our losses, and not fail and lose in critical situations, I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah. And for this year, you kind of spoke on it, like more of a focus on focusing on ourselves and things like that. What do you think it would take, especially with the team, and just like everyone in the lacrosse program and just the program itself, to like have like a good successful season, and like even like going to like how would we be able to like kind of get to that playoffs and eventually win state?
Yeah, I think like it's kind of the same every year. We talk about development. I think like it's not always the best players that win championships, right? It's usually the best team. So
yeah.
I think we have some excellent players. I think other teams have excellent players. It's really just how they marry up together and work as a unit. So that'll be our big focal point. We don't have like one guy that's going to dominate the league or anything like that, but we have a bunch of guys that can produce. So we just want to make sure we're setting our team up for success instead of an individual. So.
Yeah. Well, all the best on the season. Thank you, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Sabe. Good job.